What conspiracy theories do you think are too logical to ignore? Nothing's actually happening in Area 51. The government just keep it so people will focus on it and ignore the shady stuff happening somewhere else. Actually, Area 51 was created during the Cold War as a testing and development facility for aircraft, including the U-2 and SR-71 Blackbird reconnaissance planes, and currently it's probably being used to test few weapons, and that's it. Every country has their secret projects and we all know it. The entire alien and conspiracy theories have only fueled movies and TV shows. That's it. David Miscavige, the chairman of the Church of Scientology, definitely murdered his wife and is getting off scot-free for it. Him and his wife got into a pretty heated argument in 2007, and she hasn't been seen since. Lawyers hired by David claim she is still alive and devotes 100% of her time to work at the Church of Scientology, which is why she hasn't been seen since August 2007. In 2013, a former member of the church had filed a missing person report that was closed after a few officers had spoken and seen Mrs. Miscavige, even though there's no evidence whatsoever of this meeting. All missing persons reports now are turned down since this investigation is forever closed. That karma on Reddit really does nothing. That's exactly the thing I hate about a Reddit. Karma makes being active on Reddit a competition with no reward. US intelligence conducting organized blackmail operations out of Epstein's Island. The prosecutor handling Epstein's old case was told to back off and go easy because Epstein was intelligence. Acosta's departure from the administration confirmed that this was not just a rumor. So as an American, I would really like to know exactly who was blackmailing who, how far it extended, and what political decisions were affected. Amazon Go isn't about replacing cashiers, but about selling stock, receiving tax breaks for R&D and selling marketing analytics on the shoppers. This is why the stores are placed in financial districts and aren't open 24 hours or the weekend. Their camera system is backed up by employees watching you. Google Amazon Go Chicago. They're closed right now. Let me introduce you to Wonkapissa, the theory that Oscar-winning director Bong Joon-ho made a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with his 2012 film Snowpiercer. This theory is, in my mind, 100% true. The characters and plot lines just line up too well for it not to be. New Coke was a way for Coca-Cola to switch from real sugar to corn syrup without people noticing. Switch to the new formula that everyone hates. Keep it for a while so that people demand the old one back. Then switch it back after enough time has passed that people wouldn't notice the relatively subtle change. With all the scientists in the world, there has to be at least one secret lab on this planet where they have cloned a human. I mean, it's theoretically possible to clone a human being. The main setback is ethical concerns. Then again, when has that ever stopped some people? Google Maps only asks you for feedback on its navigation when it knows it did a good job. I use navigation all the time, and I find that when it gets me to the destination on time or earlier than predicted, I get a notification asking to rate the trip. But if it gets me there after it originally estimated, I never get that notification. The Denver airport theory. I mean, the capstone of the building literally has the Freemason logo on it. There's some weird ass apocalypse murals on the walls. The runways look like a swastika. And there's a 50-foot tall horse statue with red glowing eyes. I mean, seriously, who the duck designed that place? The NFL manipulates its games just enough in order to get the best product out of their season because they are a business with billions of dollars on the line. NASCAR is fake, it's just Hot Wheels going around a track and all the sounds are made by one guy in a sound booth imitating what he thinks a race car would sound like. Pretty sure I saw it here on Reddit at one point, but someone brought up the art trade, that these $1 million art shows individual pieces that go for insanely high prices are just a way for money laundering. Tax write-off even. So a real estate friend of mine told me that if you made $1 million you should get a shitty painting done. Have a mate who happens to be an art critic or evaluator value the piece at 50k, then donate that piece to charity stating its value. That allows you to claim a deductible of 50k towards your taxable income due to your charitable donation. Genius. The FBI keeps posting questions like this to see what the public knows. Edit. Why did this do well? Jamie Lynn Spears, Miranda Cosgrove, Victoria Justice, etc. were raped by Dan Schneider. Nickelodeon let him get away with a lot. There's so many feed jokes in all those shows. A lot of the interviews with those cast members get really awkward when they're around Dan. If you got to pursue your dream career when you really wanted it, wouldn't you do just about anything? If you made Dan Schneider mad, your career would be ruined and your dreams would be over. Edit. I do admit rape is a strong allegation, but he is at least really creepy with the feed jokes. At the very least he is a pedophile with sexual attraction toward his female stars. This isn't a conspiracy theory, but I find any chance I can to say that dinosaurs definitely had feathers and deniers are just clinging to Spielberg's image of them. The fashion industry makes too much money from purses to care about making pockets for women easily available. Edit. All the people saying just buy men's pants have apparently never seen a woman's hips. Wanna really have your mind blown? Take your pants to a seamstress. We can add pockets or make existing pockets bigger. I do it all the time. $5 a pocket and I measure your phone to make sure it fits in without any issues. That the US knowingly left POWs behind in Vietnam. Isn't that just the plot of the second Rambo film? Probably too late to this thread, but the idea that there are too many chicken wings for the amount of chickens sold. There is something like 1 billion chicken wings sold every Super Bowl. Where are they coming from? Some torture devices such as the Iron Maiden were made up hundreds of years later so people would think, well, a regular hanger ain't too bad then. This is literally true as far as the Iron Maiden. I'm pretty sure one of the Simon Whistler things talked about this like last week. Secret societies definitely exist. Who controls the British Crown? Who keeps the metric system down? We do. I quite like the missing cosmonauts theory. It's unlikely but seems like it could have been possible. It boils down to the idea that Yuri Gagarin wasn't the first man in space. He was just the first man in space to survive the entire process. Edit. Phrasing. Also thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Dr. Claw is Inspector Gadget. Edit. Dr. Claw is human inspector and Inspector Gadget is obviously a younger clone of him. Explain. Dr. Claw is the real Inspector Gadget. Human Gadget, Claw, was blown up in a terrible accident, causing everyone to think he is dead. Due to his disfigurement he hides from his family. Grief-stricken, his genius niece Penny builds a robot Uncle Gadget to fight crime and be the uncle she misses. Claw seeks to destroy the machine that essentially took his place. It's why we never see Claw's face, his screwed up voice, and I'm sure there is more I'm forgetting. Edit. Also, this is why Penny is never seriously injured and nothing happens to her. My dog did not go to Doggy Disneyland because he won a lifetime ticket for being a good boy. I think that he in fact died. Nutley NJ, where Martha Stewart was born, has a butcher shop every other corner. How much meat does one small blue collar town need? Suspicious. The reason hot dogs and hot dog buns aren't packaged in the same amount is so customers always have too many buns or hot dogs, so they have to buy more. 1. Kennedy gets elected. 2. Kennedy is critical of the CIA, his own VP and military for wanting to turn the Cold War into a hot one and the willingness to perform false flag operations, Project Northwoods, to do it. 3. Kennedy is shot. 4. His VP takes power. 5. Classified. Our phones and all the apps on them are listening to conversation. I'm super anti-conspiracy theory, but this has happened to me way too many times in the last 2 years. I impulse shop really badly. I carry cash for the explicit purpose of I can use this guilt-free for an impulse purchase. 2 years ago I bought high-end lipstick with cash in a store after doing zero research on the brand. Next day I had ads for it despite never even previously hearing of that company before. I had only talked with a sales associate about the brand for a while. 6 months later a very similar thing happened when I switched hair care products to very specific brand. Later that night I had ads for their company which I had never heard of or looked up pre or post purchase. 8 months ago I ordered a cider I had never heard of at a bar in NYC. Didn't research the company or anything about it. Not even 2 hours after I left the restaurant I had ads for that brand of cider on my Facebook. There's easily 5-7 more times I could think of, but these are the ones that bother me the most because I am positive the transactions were all in cash. I had never looked up the product before, and I had very targeted specific ads from those exact companies less than a day later on most of my social media. I like that people always are worried that Epstein was murdered instead of suicide. What if this was a ploy to cover up that he just escaped or paid his way out of prison? Well shit. Pro tip. Read the comments in Alex Jones' voice before deciding whether to believe them. That beach Debbie that used to work in accounting stole the succulent I had on my office desk. She always made comments about how much she loved it. Then she quit her job here and I come into work the next day and it's mysteriously nowhere to be found. Haven't seen it since. Time to sort by controversial. Guys, I know this is a really crazy theory, but I think some rich people might be corrupt. I believe that the US government has men in black that make people disappear if they know more than what's good for them. Some people had to talk about Fight Club, otherwise it wouldn't exist. Best comment of the day. Is my phone listening all the time? I tested my Moto E smartphone the other day, turned it as off as much as I could, can't remove battery, and started talking about IKEA. Not in a general sense, but several specific model names of furniture, and a dish drainer. I was using a neighbor's IKEA catalog, my computer was off, so no browser cookies. I just said words like IKEA, and whatever the name of the product was, 3 or so times. An hour later, IKEA was everywhere I wanted to be. I went to an IKEA page, and the items I was talking about were all on the recommended list. There is not turn off internal microphone option in the settings. Wouldn't trust it if there was. I don't leave my phone laying around anymore. Soundproof box cured the problem.